Huru,
Huru.
Huru. If we're live, we want to welcome everybody. I don't know if we are because it says setting up your live stream. Okay, all right, Uhuru, everyone. So this is Jesse Neville, and I'm here with Chairwoman Penny Hess. Uhuru, Chairwoman Penny.
Uhuru, Jesse, and Uhuru, everybody. Welcome to this really important live stream today.
Uhuru. So we just want to welcome everybody back to the Uhuru Solidarity Movement Facebook and or YouTube channel. We're streaming from both right now. And if you are not already a subscriber to our YouTube channel, please go ahead and click subscribe, like this video, comment, follow our page, spread the word. You will receive notifications anytime and every time we go live, which will be very often, especially in these next few weeks as we build towards our Uhuru Solidarity Movement National Convention on March 18th through the 22nd, which you can find out more information at uhurusolidarity.org/convention. The convention is called Unity Through Reparations, Reparations Through Organization, building the organization of white people working under the leadership of the African People's Socialist Party in the white community to build the mass movement for reparations to African people. And speaking at that convention will be Chairman Omali Yeshitela and Chairwoman Penny Hess from the African People's Solidarity Committee, who is here with us today. And I'm excited to be on with you, Chairwoman Penny, and we want to talk about the question of reparations and colonialism today, specifically in regards to some really disturbing statistics that have come out in the past couple of years, actually, since the COVID-19 colonial virus pandemic started, about what they call deep poverty. And I just want to read a quick statistic here and then open up for a discussion with you, Chairwoman Penny. So there was an article in the World Bank saying that COVID-19 is expected to add as many as 150 million, quote unquote, extreme poor by 2021. So this came out when the pandemic was getting started. It said global extreme poverty is expected to rise in 2020 for the first time in over 20 years as the COVID pandemic compounds the forces of conflict and climate change. The COVID pandemic is estimated to push an additional 88 million to 115 million people into what they call extreme poverty, with the total rising to as many as 150 million, depending on the severity of the economic contraction. And then they define extreme poverty as living on less than $1.90 a day. Mm-hmm. So that.
Yeah, I think that, well, first of all, I just want to say that I do think that that is a really cynical kind of statistic, and first of all, very, very underrepresented of what the reality is. But the fact is that, you know, that to live on $1.90 a day anywhere in the world is starvation. It is not even it's not even real. You could continue to exist on that, and that in fact half the world, according to statistics, half the population of the earth lives on $10 a day or less, which also is, you know, just deep, incredible poverty. And I think that the important thing that we have to understand is what Chairman Omali Yeshitela has told us, that colonialism is the mode of production for white people, for the colonizers. This is something that we have to really come to terms with. As the chairman says, every dream and aspiration that white people have of a successful marriage or sending our kids to college, or even that we would have a good job, or even that we would be productive in the society, requires drone strikes throughout the Middle East and police murders of African people and poverty inside the US and around the world. It requires it. It's a dialectic that has to exist. There's no possibility of having a world in which resources can be shared by all of humanity, as some people would like to envision, without there being the destruction of the colonial system, the destruction of capitalism. And, we have to really come to terms with that. Recycling is not going to change this, or giving to some charity is not going to change this. The only thing that's going to change it is the leadership of the African working class, therefore representing the entire nation of African people forcibly dispersed around the world, that are fighting for the liberation of Africa and African people everywhere in total unity with the indigenous people whose land this is. Who, and if you want to look at what is the greatest poverty, the greatest, most impoverished sector of the US, it is the indigenous people. This is their land. And, you can see that on the continent of Africa and wherever African people are, here is Africa, the richest in resources continent on the planet, and African people are living in bare, subsistence. And so this is a world that can't continue to exist. The African People's Socialist Party is extremely serious about taking power, self-government, creating an economy that is by and for the interests of the African working class and meets the needs of the people, not profit. And that imperialism has to go. So this convention is a call to white people to get organized. We can't leave this world for another generation or for another week.
Right.
We've got to get organized. Reparations must be paid as the return of the stolen resources to African people.
Exactly. I couldn't agree more. Thank you, Chairwoman Penny. And I also want to thank people who are tuning in, watching this live stream on Facebook and YouTube. Shout out to Jackson Hollingsworth, John Hill Jr., Aquarius Cheers, Liquidity Umpukuchu, and everybody else who's tuning in. Please share this broadcast, share this live stream far and wide. Let's get the word out, and let's get as many white people as we possibly can, hundreds, thousands, and more, to come to the Uhuru Solidarity Movement National Convention to get organized under the leadership of the African working class. This is the only way we can truly participate in repairing the damage of a colonial system that has enriched and fed us at the expense of everybody else for hundreds of years. So go to uhurusolidarity.org/register. And also, if you are here in St. Louis or in the region, St. Louis, Missouri, you can join us on the first day of the convention, March 18th. We are kicking off the convention with a rally for reparations at the so-called Gateway Arch, the infamous monument to colonialism and genocide that towers above the city here in St. Louis, that towers above what used to be a thriving African community before it was destroyed to build that monument, and which itself was built to memorialize or commemorate, celebrate Thomas Jefferson and the theft of the land from the indigenous people. So we want to have a line of over 100 people spanning the width of one end of the arch to the other, holding bold, visually striking, colorful banners declaring the message of reparations to African people and unity and solidarity with the African Revolution. So we invite you to join us on March 18th, Friday at 1 p.m. Central here in St. Louis at the Arch. And you can register for that at reparationsrally.eventbrite.com. So before we go, anything else you wanted to say, Chairwoman Penny Hess?
Well, I'm just so excited about this action and the incredible USM convention. Really want to join in calling on white people to join the forward side of history, support the Black Power Blueprint. And if you're not clear what that is, go to blackpowerblueprint.org and see these incredible programs being coordinated by the African People's Socialist Party and the Office of the Deputy Chair, Onizine Shatella, transforming and building an economy that negates the colonial economy in the hands of the African working class. Wow, it is so dynamic and powerful. Join the forward side of history, reparations to African people, and Uhuru.
Uhuru. Unity through
Reparations.